Did you know that Gene Hackman once performed a dangerous stunt in The French Connection that could have cost him his life? And here's something crazier. The director actually brought in a real undercover cop to be part of the movie. Fire! Imagine that. Reality and fiction blending together, making this film one of the most thrilling ever made. Now, tell me this. If Gene Hackman had been replaced, do you think the movie would still have won the Oscar? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you love discovering hidden movie secrets like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Fact number 1. Gene Hackman almost refused the role. Believe it or not, Gene Hackman was never the first choice to play Detective Jimmy Popeye Doyle. The director originally wanted actors like Steve McQueen and Paul Newman, but both turned the part down. Hackman himself was hesitant, worried that Doyle's rough, racist personality would damage his career. But once filming began, he committed completely, even doing dangerous stunts himself. Ironically, the role that Hackman almost didn't take went on to define his career, earning him an Academy Award for Best Actor. Imagine how different cinema history would have been if Hackman had walked away. This shows how risky casting decisions sometimes create movie magic. Fact number 2. The famous car chase wasn't legal. The legendary car chase in The French Connection is often hailed as the greatest in movie history. But here's the shocking truth. It wasn't filmed with proper permits. Director William Friedkin and the crew shot much of the chase sequence guerrilla style, without city authorization. This meant that some of the cars and pedestrians in the background were real New Yorkers who had no idea a film was being made. The risks were enormous. Hackman was actually driving at high speeds through Brooklyn traffic. This raw, dangerous method gave the chase its authentic, chaotic energy. Today, it would be nearly impossible to film such a sequence without heavy CGI or strict safety controls. Fact number 3. A real cop inspired the story. The film is based on the true experiences of NYPD detectives Eddie Egan and Sonny Grosso, who worked on a massive drug bust in the 1960s. The character Jimmy Popeye Doyle, played by Gene Hackman, was directly inspired by Eddie Egan's tough and sometimes reckless methods. In fact, Egan himself appears in the movie in a small role as Doyle's supervisor. This blending of real-life police work and Hollywood storytelling gave the film its gritty, authentic feel. Audiences could sense that the story came from genuine events, making it far more intense than a purely fictional cop thriller. Without this real-world inspiration, the movie wouldn't have had the same impact. Fact number 4. Gene Hackman hated his character. Even though Gene Hackman won an Oscar for his role, he actually disliked playing Popeye Doyle. Hackman felt uncomfortable with Doyle's aggressive, racist, and violent personality. At one point, he even clashed with director William Friedkin because he didn't want to portray the character as cruel as written. Ironically, it was this tension that made Hackman's performance so raw and believable. He pushed through his own doubts and delivered a portrayal that critics still call one of the best in film history. This shows how sometimes when actors struggle with their roles, it can lead to performances that feel more real and unforgettable on screen. Fact number 5. The film won 5 Oscars. The French Connection was a critical and commercial success, winning 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Gene Hackman. Director William Friedkin's realistic approach and innovative camera work impressed both audiences and critics. The film's gritty depiction of crime in New York City, combined with its intense action sequences, made it stand out among other 1970s cop dramas. Interestingly, the movie beat The Last Picture Show for Best Picture, which surprised many. This sweep confirmed that a hard-hitting, realistic crime story could achieve mainstream success. It also cemented Hackman's status as one of Hollywood's top actors, capable of carrying a movie with both charm and intensity. Fact number 6. Real drugs on set? During filming, rumors circulated that some of the drugs in the movie were actually real. While most were obviously props, some small amounts of real cocaine were reportedly used to create realistic scenes. Friedkin wanted the actors, especially Hackman, to react naturally to the presence of drugs. The realism worked. Audiences believed the gritty atmosphere, adding tension and authenticity to the film. This dedication to detail helped the movie stand apart from other crime dramas. Even today, directors reference The French Connection as a benchmark for gritty, realistic filmmaking. It's a perfect example of how far some filmmakers will go to make a scene feel real. Fact number 7. The film pioneered the handheld camera. The shaky, fast-moving handheld shots became iconic thanks to William Friedkin's innovative techniques. Using handheld cameras in chase sequences gave the audience a sense of urgency and chaos, making them feel like they were in the car with Popeye Doyle. This style was relatively new at the time and inspired countless future crime films. The technique made the movie's action sequences feel raw and realistic, breaking away from the polished, static shots common in 1970s Hollywood. It's now considered a hallmark of gritty, immersive filmmaking. Directors like Martin Scorsese later credited this film for influencing their own approach to dynamic, realistic camera work. Fact number 8. The legendary car chase took months to shoot. The famous car chase scene, spanning several city blocks of Brooklyn, took weeks to shoot. Hackman performed most of his driving stunts himself, navigating tight city streets at high speeds. The crew often filmed without permits, increasing the danger. Background pedestrians and cars were mostly real people unaware a film was being shot, adding authentic chaos. This dedication to detail created one of the most iconic car chases in cinema history. Even modern filmmakers study this scene to understand pacing, tension, and practical stunt execution. It remains a benchmark for action filmmaking decades later. Fact number 9. Eddie Egan played a cop in the film. The real-life detective who inspired Popeye Doyle played a small but memorable role as Doyle's supervisor. His authentic police mannerisms added depth to the movie and reinforced the gritty realism. Friedkin insisted on including him despite Egan having no prior acting experience. Surprisingly, Egan's natural presence blended seamlessly with professional actors like Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider, enhancing the film's credibility. Many viewers didn't even realize a real detective was on screen. Including Egan set a precedent for incorporating real-life figures into movies to boost authenticity, influencing countless filmmakers in the crime genre.
Fact number 10. Roy Scheider nearly quit. Roy Scheider, who played Detective Buddy Russo, almost left the production due to the intense shooting schedule and dangerous stunts. He was particularly concerned about the chaotic car chase scenes where actors drove at high speeds through real New York streets. Director William Friedkin convinced him to stay, emphasizing the importance of realism and tension in the film. Scheider's decision paid off. His performance complemented Gene Hackman's intensity perfectly. Together, they created one of the most memorable detective duos in cinema history. This behind-the-scenes struggle shows how actor dedication and trust in the director can make a film legendary. Fact number 11. The famous subway scene was real. The iconic subway fight scene between Popeye Doyle and a suspect wasn't staged on a studio set. It was filmed in a real subway station during operating hours. Passengers who happened to be there became part of the scene, reacting naturally to the chaos. Hackman performed his own stunts, dodging real obstacles and weaving through crowds. The realism of the scene shocked audiences and added to the gritty, urban atmosphere. Today, this sequence is studied in film schools for its innovative use of location and crowd interaction, proving that authenticity can be far more gripping than carefully controlled studio sets. Fact number 13. The film inspired a sequel. Due to the massive success of The French Connection, a sequel titled French Connection 2 was released in 1975. Once again, Gene Hackman reprised his role as Popeye Doyle, but the tone shifted slightly, focusing more on international intrigue. The original movie's realistic, gritty style influenced the sequel's direction, though it didn't achieve the same critical acclaim. Audiences still compare the two, praising the first for its raw energy and innovative filmmaking. This shows how groundbreaking films often set high expectations for sequels, which can be difficult to surpass despite returning talent and characters. Fact number 14. Oscar-winning editing. The film's editor, Gerald B. Greenberg, won an Oscar for his work, particularly for piecing together the complex car chase and action sequences. The editing rhythm created tension, making viewers feel every second of danger. Coupled with Roy Budd's haunting score, the pacing of the film became a masterclass in suspense. The careful cutting between actors, vehicles, and city streets kept audiences on edge without relying on excessive CGI or special effects. Greenberg's editing is still studied today in film schools, demonstrating how skillful post-production can elevate a movie from great to legendary. Fact number 15. The real bust inspires dialogue. Many lines of dialogue in the film were taken almost verbatim from the actual police reports of Eddie Egan and Sonny Grosso. This added to the authenticity and helped the actors immerse themselves in the reality of the story. Gene Hackman often delivered lines exactly as written, reflecting the tough, no-nonsense nature of real detectives. Audiences responded positively to this level of detail, which made the movie feel more like a documentary than a scripted drama. Using real-life dialogue was a bold choice, but it paid off in giving the film its unique, gritty realism.